Alright guys, so we're going to continue with 3.5, which is pretty much a continuation of what 3.4 was. We left off there looking at that really nasty formula to work out the Pearson's product. And we're going to continue on with that now, but it's pretty much all going to be on CAS. But the first thing we kind of really need to look at and refresh our memories on is correlation and causation. So the fact that just because something looks like it might cause something, it doesn't. We call that a correlation, not a causation. So an example might be the higher you are, the heavier you are. That's not necessarily true. There's a correlation there, but they don't actually cause each other. So it's something we really need to keep in mind. The words that you use to describe things are really, really important. When it comes to your exam, it could literally just be one word difference between a definition that will give you a right and a wrong answer. So be very, very careful with what you're saying. Nothing will cause something, something may cause something. That's kind of what you need to think about. And the way we can actually look at this is using the coefficient of determination, which is pretty much, it's just r squared, and literally all we're doing is taking our r value from the previous example and squaring it. That's all we're doing. By doing that, it gives us a range now between 0 and 1. So we're not necessarily working between -1 and 1 now. We're just working between 0 and 1. And this tells us the percent or the variation of something that's happening. So if we look down the bottom here, we can say if we get our r squared value, we can conclude that r squared percentage is the variation of whatever our x variable is in relation to the y variable. It's just a definition we need to get our head around. If we look at the next page, it actually gives us a proper rundown of what it can actually be. So if we look at this example here, if we're taking the examples of height and age, if we work out our r value, we get 0.8. So if we square that, we get 0.64. So that tells us we have a 64% chance owing in the variation, and 36% of that to the leftover owes to other factors. So we can talk about your population, where you are, where you're growing up, those type of things. That 36% owes to something else. And that's kind of it, guys. We'll have a CAS example up again for this later on, because your CAS does all this for you. It will spit out your r and r squared without you actually doing any work. And it will follow. All right, thanks, guys.
Bye.